Hello everyone. Today, let's take a look and see how we can save anywhere from 50% to 85% of our tokens when we're using tools with this new approach from Anthropic called Tool Search Tool. Now, this video is broken down into three parts. The first chapter is a high-level walkthrough about the problem. The second chapter is a high-level walkthrough of the actual solution. And the third chapter is a code walkthrough. Now, let us begin. The way that we use tools within LLM is we pass in the tool definition to the LLM. Now, this works well when we have one tool. This also works well when you have two tools, maybe even three tools. But when you have 100 tools, things get quite tricky. And one of the big problems with using 100 tools is the amount of tokens that we have to pay upfront or the tokens that the LLM sees upfront. Say, for example, a tool has approximately 200 tokens and we have a toolkit which has 100 tools. Just by using the 100 tools, we will have 20,000 tokens. And all this is even before the LLM sees the first message. So this is a huge amount that we need to pay, especially when we consider that not every tool is necessary for the given session. So what do we do? What is the approach that Anthropic has come up with? What Anthropic has done is they have taken the toolkit, which has 100 tools, and they've hidden that behind one single tool. And that tool is called the tool search tool. The LLM sees only this one tool and it does not see anything else. It is not aware of the rest of the tools. Now the LLM interacts with this tool by passing a natural language query. It could be something as simple as what is the weather in Bangalore, or it could even be I want to know what is the weather. I want a tool that looks up weather based on the city. It could be anything. It is just pure natural language. Now, this tool search tool internally it does a lookup into your toolkit. You can think of this toolkit as a large list of tools that has already been indexed. Now, the lookup can happen in one of three ways. The first one is string-based lookup, that is regular expression search. The second one is a sparse vector-based lookup, which is either BM25 or TF-IDF. And the third is embedding similarity, which is a dense vector lookup. So this tool search tool does a lookup from the toolkit and it retrieves the top k tools that is relevant to the query that the LLM has made. From the LLM's perspective, all it has done is it has passed a query to the tool search tool. The tool search internally has found the top k tools. So what it does is it takes the top k tools and it returns them to the LLM. So this way, the LLM is not even aware that other tools exist, but it knows that it can query for it if need be. And this, my friends, is how tool search tool goes about reducing the number of tokens that the LLM consumes even before it gives you an answer. Now, I have shared this collab notebook so you can take a look at it. Uh, the one thing that needs to be done is we need to set up the Anthropic API key, right? So we set up the model. At the time of filming this video, which is December 2025, only Sonnet 4.5 and Opus 4.5 supports tool search tool. I expect other models to start using it somewhere down the road. It is still a beta feature at this point. Now we have a list of tools. We have 50 tools here. Now the one difference between a traditional list of tools and tools that need to be indexed so that tool search tool can use is by passing in the parameter of deferred loading. So as you can see here, we add the one single key here of deferred loading to true, and that instructs, or rather that instructs the system that Anthropic has that the list of or that specific tool needs to be indexed so that it can be looked up. Now, these tools, we will not be running the actual APIs. We will be mocking them for the sake of demonstration at least. The whole point is we don't actually need to make the tool calls. We just need to showcase some resemblance of a tool call to highlight the difference in token usage. And The next function is a conversation turn. All this does is it takes a query, runs it through the LLM. If the LLM requests for tools, it is handled by Claude internally. So it will retrieve the right tool. Once the right tool is retrieved, we as the developer, it is our responsibility to run the tool, pass in the tool result back to the LLM, that is Claude at this point, and then Claude will use that to give a final result. And that is what happens in this conversation turn. Now let us run the naive approach where we will not be using any tool search. So the query is, what would be the interest on rupees 10,000 for a year, assuming it is compounded at 8% per annum? Also tell me how much it would be if I were to convert it to USD after 3 years. So we have run the query here through the LLM, and let's do a quick walkthrough of this. The LLM says, yes, sure, it'll help us. So it makes a tool call internally. And mind you, this is without using any specific tool search. So the LLM sees all the tools up front. The first tool usage is calculating compound for 1 year, and then for 3 years, not sure why. Then the last one is to convert it. Now, the mocking function that I have always returns a currency exchange rate between 1 and 2. So this is not reflective of the real world. Right, and we have the result here. It'll be 10,080, 800. After 3 years, it's going to be 12,597, which surprisingly is actually right. And this is, at this point, it is incorrect. And you can see that we are using 6,939 tokens upfront, and we output just 200 tokens. So that is so that is 7,000 tokens that we're using. Now, let's see how things would be different if we hide the rest of the tools behind the tool search. Again, we've run this. Now, the differences are quite interesting. So initially, it makes a server tool call where it says it needs to use server tool search, and the query that passes is compound interest and calculation, and there's a limit of 5. Rather, we want only 5 tools. So we can see internally Anthropic has set up the system to use BM25, which is sufficient for us. And the second tool search is currency conversion INR to USD. Now, the result, this corresponds to the first tool search, is we have 5 tools, and the first one is what we need, that is calculate compound interest. Similarly, for the second one, we get exchange rate followed by convert currency, and we pass this, and this is then internally passed back to the LLM, so the LLM can use the right tool. As we can see, we have a few things here. Now this tool usage is what is written to us, so we as the agentic developer or the LLM developers at this point, it is our responsibility to run these tools and get the right output and pass that output back to the LLM. And you can see here, and then there's a second turn where we actually convert the amount from INR to USD, and again we can see, and the difference in tokens is what we can see here. So this entire conversation used up 2,739 input tokens, and the output tokens is 198. So mind you, this is the we are reporting the input tokens of the second turn, so it would have already seen the tool search tool along with the results of that. Now the difference is, we have, when we use tool search, it is using 41% of the tokens that the first tool, the first call, which had all the tools, was utilizing. So tool search tool uses 2,937 versus no tool search, which uses 7,000 tokens. versus 3000 tokens here. So that is a savings of 60%. So, all in all, this is a great way where we can achieve two things. The first one is we can save the number of tokens that are being used when we have more than a few tools. The second one is Anthropic claims that this also improves the accuracy of tool usage. And that is something that we would have to test out. But in practice, I have experienced that when there is a large number of tools, the LLM doesn't always choose the best one. Thank you.